Every once in a while, you come across someone with so much wisdom, you learn more about life and your purpose within a few minutes of talking to them. But usually that person is not 14. But I met a Waukesha County teen who inspired me in a way I will never forget. Carroll University, you'll find fresh-faced students eager to learn, but one young student is in a class all by himself.
Monica.
I'm on a card, right? Correct.
Anthony Sikorsky, a whiz from Waukesha, who's only 14 years old.
I have an environment where everybody is committed to learning, committed to either helping students learn or the students are committed to learning themselves. Because if you're in a stimulating environment, then you're able to be better stimulated yourself.
And this teen who skipped 4 grades is undaunted by subjects like organic chemistry, calculus, biology.
Are you having any trouble with those hard classes like calculus and chemistry?
I'd say no.
Carroll University biology professor Dr. Todd Levin has witnessed Anthony's thirst for knowledge.
It's so wonderful to watch him pick at all these ideas and get attached to them and learn about them. And I suspect that he's going to discover paths that he didn't know existed and none of us would have expected for him.
And his passion, well, I'd give him an A+.
He offered me the opportunity to research Lepomis sunfish. They're river sunfish. There's several endangered species actually here in Wisconsin. Sequencing their specific gene, a mitochondrial gene, and figuring out their evolutionary relationships is a combination of the things that we're talking about in class that now has an application out of class.
This brainy scholar started to read at 2 years old. Anthony's mom, Jill Sikorsky, shares.
We filled his life with books. We filled his life with classical music. We lived at the library.
Academic experts explain Anthony's brain this way.
Whatever his left side of the brain was not going to be able to figure out, his right side would be able to figure out. That he truly has the capacity to work through anything that he comes in contact with.
He was invited to the White House as a presidential scholar. This Arrowhead High School graduate is earning A's in college. And once again, he's only 14 years old.
He is profoundly gifted. He has an IQ of over 180. He's been tested so many times, but that's not what makes him special.
And that's true. Anthony's genius is just part of the story. He must fit in classwork between monitoring chronic health conditions.
He has cystic fibrosis. He also has adrenal insufficiency. He is orthostatic hypotension, which is POTS, so you can stand up and your blood pressure drops and it goes low and you can pass out. He also has Ehlers-Danlos, which is a connective tissue joint disorder, which is why he uses a power chair. And he also takes a growing shot every day because he doesn't grow.
2.5 hours a day are spent using his vest and taking dozens of pills.
This is his everyday medication. Every day he takes about 55 pills.
But don't think Anthony uses health challenges as an excuse to avoid work.
Nobody should treat me differently than anyone else in terms of academic or social affairs, that regardless of my age or medical conditions, that doesn't affect those directly.
And health issues have not diminished Anthony's spirit. He's warm, inviting, and overwhelmingly optimistic.
You have to maintain a positive outlook overall on life in spite of these difficulties. If you find at least one thing that's gone well for you in a day, then that day is a good day. There is always somebody in that area who has a worse life than you do. And if you don't recognize that, then in my opinion, you'll live a life that is close to miserable. But if you can take the things as they come in turn and yet appreciate that you have a great amount of blessings in your life, then that is the true key to being wise.
The more he talks, the more it's clear I'm in the presence of greatness.
Do you know how many people at 50 and 60 are just flailing and wandering around here, ruining other people's lives?
And despite my negative assessment, Anthony is hopeful.
There's always people you could wish they made different choices, but at the same time, the entire world is not like that. It's personal choices that if we blamed everybody else in the world for our problems, then the world would be very miserable because much of the blame in many cases lies in ourselves. And if we take the effort to try and change things and show that everybody has a spark, even if it's just a small little flicker, that even if they live by a flicker, they still have a bit of good humanity left in them.
His gift is his heart, his soul, his compassion, his empathy, his love, his ability to see the good in everyone. He is also an incredibly hard worker.
Anthony hopes to become a geneticist and help other families dealing with health challenges.
My hope would be to be able to give to others some of the solace that I've been given.
He relishes in learning, but his heart drives him too. He wants to help others and he wants to give back like others have given back to him. He's just a beautiful soul.
This young man with a big brain and bigger heart is already scoring high marks in humanity.
You must base your life upon what you do have, what you don't have. So we can't reclaim what you don't have. We can't cause ourselves to get traits that we wish to have that we can't alter. And yet, we have enough things that we do have that we can't benefit from, to where it's important to focus on those. Because if not, then life has essentially no meaning.
So powerful. Anthony, thank you for letting us share your story. And by the way, happy birthday, because since we did that story, Anthony has now turned to the ripe old age of 15.